Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. So if you're here for your daily card reading, this is the end of this week, and we have been using Thoth or Thoth Tarot, and then we have a Kali Oracle. And I'm going to do on this last day, I'm going to go for the Tarot first. This is a really interesting deck. If you caught any of the readings, you know what I mean. There's a lot of symbolism as well as it being tarot. This is an older deck. It's been around for a number of years. And I don't know the exact, like when it was brought out, but let's see if it says on the book. So yeah, so they were, the Aleister Crowley died in 1947 and she died in 62. So I guess it was before then. So the card deck has been around maybe 80 or 100 years. So let's tap into the wisdom and the expertise that came into being through these creators and ask, what is it that we most need to know on this day as we end the week? This is supposed to be astrologically, planetarial, if that's a word. We have these once in a lifetime conjunctions that are going through the sky, different things that only happen like thousands of years. That the shift is where the planets come into alignment the way they are, and some of them I think have never been in this shift. So it's supposed to be very powerful. I heard 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that. So I'm really excited to see what that's bringing for us. So let's ask the cards to give us some information. What is it that we most need to know today and as we go into this weekend? Okay, wow. So the first card that comes out is the Devil. Now this is a really interesting card. And truthfully, it's one of those cards like the Tower that we really don't even want to look at. Well, what the Devil is about, it's card number 15, which reduces to 6. It's those things, those attachments that we have that we don't even sometimes know that we have. The things that we feel like we have no control over. We're just a victim, so to speak, of it. And that's why I think that they have these bubbles, right, of people that are trying to get out but they can't get out, right? And then it looks like there's somebody here, the ram, that is presiding over the whole scene. And this is a major arcana, it's a major shift. And right after that we have the Prince of Cups, and the Prince is kind of like the King of Cups, and this is all about your heart, being in that heart-based space. And please forgive me, I feel like my neighbor just started up his giant truck thing. It's quite loud. So let's go back to this Devil. And there are a couple of symbols here. It says the Hebrew symbol here, which is Ayin. The cult of the goat, which is what this is, not the ram. Well, I guess that is a male goat. The cult of the goat represents the impulse to reckless creation without any regard to the result. Behind the goat stands the tree of life, which pierces the heavens in a medley of fantastic forms, recalling the markings on the planets Mars, always associated with a fiery material energy of creation. So very interesting how this is being portrayed. The spiral shape of the horns is an allusion to the highest and most remote things. So what it's saying is that God has a divine force, and this is the tree of life. And if you followed the readings all week long, they make a lot of reference to the tree of life, which is something that is held within us. It's like the power, if we can tap into it, to our own divinity, to our own ability to manifest, whether it be health or objects or just the awareness. And I don't even know why I said just, because that's probably the most important part. The awareness of our own divinity. And it almost looks like the tree in Jack and the Beanstalk, right, where it just rises into the heavens, and we can climb up there and just go to places that we've never gone before. And I always think it's unusual when the Devil card comes out, but there's something that is happening right now that is saying that, you know, what are we paying attention to that really doesn't matter? Are we putting our focus somewhere where it could be better served in a different direction? And the Cups energy is such a beautiful energy because it's around knowing like he is holding what looks like this beautiful flower here, a rose here. He's flying on like the phoenix or the eagle, something like this, and he's holding the snake energy. And the snake is this feminine aspect of being in control of your chakras and all your energy field. And it's here held over his heart because it's when you have deep connection with your heart and your intuitive self, you can rise above many things in the world. And you know, it's said that you can never go wrong when you truly listen to your heart. So let me see if I can go in and find out what the meaning of that particular one is. The Prince of Cups. It says he's crafty, artistic, subtle, a fierce nature with calm exterior. The powerful for good and evil, but more attracted by the evil if allied with apparent power of wisdom. That's interesting because a lot of people look at the devil as evil, and interesting, the devil is evil with a D in front of it, right? And I've never noticed that before. I don't know why. I've seen it written a million times, but I truthfully don't believe in evil. So this is if things are not, if you're not following your heart and you're just like moving recklessly with reckless emotion. But the King is generally a card who has the awareness of the strength and the power of the emotions and what happens when you're not in control of your emotions. You can just kind of go off and hurt people. So I feel like there may be one more card. So let's find out if there's anything else that can really help us. Well, I wasn't expecting 3, 4. Clear this up. So what do we have here? We have indolence, which is the 8 of Cups. This is around leaving something. And then we have 8 again, which is swiftness with the Wands energy. So this is water and fire. And so the two of them together, too much water over fire puts it out. And when fire becomes too much for water, the water dissipates and goes out into the world, right? Creates steam, not, you know, it kind of calms everything down if there's not too much. But if there's too much, it really amplifies everything. It's very, I don't think that anything happens, you know, just by chance. So what it's saying here in these cards, and we're going to go to the last 2 cards here because we have Victory and the Queen of Swords. So we have what's saying here is in the Devil card, when you're addicted to these, this is what I'm hearing. When you're addicted to this emotional like charge of being like this ego-driven, powerful, right? And you're all caught up in emotional needs, meaning that other people are more in control of your emotions than you are because how they look at you and how they see, and you can get enraged by this and how dare they with that. When that happens and you're too much in this kind of energy where you feel like you're a victim of everything, that it becomes toxic. It becomes like this dark water. It becomes murky. And with this second 8 that's coming in, I think it's very interesting. This kind of looks like the Merkaba here, sort of. It's this inverted triangle or a pyramid on top of a pyramid, which is what is believed in the Giza Plateau, that there's more information held below that we're unaware of. And that this was a frequency, a resonancy that keeps these 2 worlds in balance, in perfect balance, which is held here by the rainbow. When perfect alignment, when water hits light or, you know, frequency like this, it creates literally the rainbow. So from this is what it's saying is, what I'm reading from this is that as we're moving into the weekend and we start seeing things for what they are, and we see this toxic male influence here that has created this darkness, we are going to see it for what it is. And it's like the light comes in to show us what we've kind of been attracted to and what's been pulling us in a single direction. But with the introduction of light into this kind of a frequency, we end up with this greater awareness, greater like movement really in what's going on. And we are victorious in the end because the Six of Cups is all about really being, the Six of Wands is all about really being acknowledged for where you've been. So I feel like as you've gone through your life, if you have kind of stayed out of this region or not, because we've all had times when we've fallen into it and come out again, but that something is going to happen. It's going to happen very quickly, which is why it's called swiftness, that really opens up and brings in new light, new element. We've kind of been seeing this over the last few weeks anyway, where I think I even had in introduction at one point when I was going through my meditation that look beyond the light. Like, this is adding another element, another layer to what the light can bring. And then you're rising above all this. The Queen is the feminine aspect of being able to receive the information that's needed and being able to encompass everything around you. So in other words, sometimes like the darkness of holding secrets and feeling like all greedy and like somehow, you know, you feel better than somebody and because you have all the information or whatever, you kind of go into this dark space, right? And when you hold on to things like that, it just becomes polluted. And this is rising above all that, being able to receive information and yet let the information flow, because information can either be held like a secret and become toxic, or we can give it to the world. And it's interesting here that she has beheaded something. Looks like a man, and I know that it has more reference to it in the book, so I'll go and check this out. But here you have like butterflies of transformation. You have all this beautiful fire that through this transformation has created the elevation of the divine feminine, the wisdom to be able to receive and still share with others and bring out into the world and slay like the demon or the dragon or the, you know what I mean, the devil energy. That's what it feels like. It's very exciting. So it says, she's the ruler of the heavens, the earthly part of air, the fixation of the volatile or the materialized of the idea. She appears in this card in front of a barren altar and has the helmet of Medusa. So Medusa is the goddess with all those snakes on. It says wisdom. This is about wisdom, strength, subtlety of material things, grace and dexterity. So this is about rising and slaying. Like Medusa was, what was she? She was that mythic goddess who if you looked at her, you would turn to stone. All right, so speaking about goddess, let's get our final message here. So I think we got this in the beginning of the week as well. And you can see this rising out of the darkness of the water and still being mirrored by whatever was below the water. But she has the experiences of coming out. She's been below and now she rises. And I feel like this is coming to be with this divine feminine energy that's over here, kind of like slaying, like I said, slaying the dragon or Medusa or whatever this is, and rising above the situation, which is what this is showing. It says when a situation becomes unnecessarily complicated or confusing to your heart, which is what this was starting out with, Kali Mahamaya arises spontaneously as a protective bearer of universal truth. And it does feel like this. It feels like this is not something down on the earthly planes. It's up in the heavens. It's up in the sky for us all to see and hear. Ultimately, her revelation shall lead you beyond that which is deceptive or not right for you. This you are promised. She protects you from that which is unworthy of your heart and seeks to constrain your spirit. Yeah, so it's saying that anything that's trying to trap you down in this old way of being or believing, this old domination where you feel trapped, this is the protective energy to rise out of this. And it's so funny because this is a very interesting image. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing in that, which I think is very telling, the way this whole thing is put together. So thank you so much for joining me here at the channel. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I hope you've had as much fun as I have reading Thoth or working with Thoth Tarot this week. Very interesting. I probably will not bring it out again for a while because it was challenging to read. but it was fun nonetheless. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.